Hey, Natsu here. Today I'm going to do my next part on what if Deku had Venom's powers. In the last part, the sports festival happened. Deku literally told to Endeavor what he was thinking about him, how bad of a father he was, how well he was training to be a hero, but how bad he became because of that. Um, how rude he is just because of the dream he is that he has, which he could basically do without being like that, and all of the damage that he did to his family because of how he acted, which made Endeavor think, so he didn't see Shoto losing. He did hear about it, but he was way too caught up in his thoughts. Shoto still went with his dad, and everyone basically went to the same place except Mina, and that went with Gran Torino. And since Deku had, well, got One for All, and yes, the Vestige with that, well, the Remnants, which, yes, at some point I will make him actually be able to talk to them, just like Mina will be able to. Which, for them, basically, since they kind of are in separate bodies, but it's kind of the same soul. The one in Mina is still just connected to Mina, but the other one that is in Deku basically can still feel Mina's connection, and they don't know why. Like, actually, all of the remnants are actually the same in both bodies, but for some reason, there's two people at once that's using it, and that's basically where they are not sure of how it works. Which is basically just because Deku was able to just copy it and leave it behind, so One for All didn't even hasn't even been processed into Deku's basically big given. It's just that his body was able to fully copy it at 10%, but if he merged with someone, that person has it at 100% while they are bonded with Deku. Which means that there's basically three All Might running around right now. If Mina decides to go 100%, yeah, she will break her limbs, but she can still do it pretty well compared to what Deku was able to do in the anime. Mm, So, yeah, it's kind of. If they really wanted to, they could go 100% and just punch all at once. I'm pretty sure they would be able to destroy a lot of things. That's why in this one, I'm actually going to put the arc, well, the movie that has the island in it, simply because it actually makes it a lot more interesting. So, before everyone leaves, basically, to go to their agency, um, Deku sees how Ida is acting, goes to talk to him. Ida explains to him what's happening. Um, Ida doesn't think about the healing ability compared to my other Deku with the Omega Stone, that it's basically one of the major ability he has. Because most of the time, all that people see from Deku is he merged with someone or he has multiple quirks from previous people who he bonded with. So, yeah. Deku remembered about that and decided to tell the others that there might be something. So just to check if they go to Hosu, because he knows that where he is going, it's actually in that city. So, um, after that happened, they leave to go to their respective agencies. Um, Deku and Mina basically decide to just kind of bond together and fly there, just because, well, they don't need to take the train, and for them it's pretty much easier. As well as they started being pretty close to each other. And yes, by close I mean they're starting to go beyond just friendship. So, um, basically they fly there. Um, Once they get there, they basically have the same thing happening with seeing Gran Torino on the ground. Um, Mina panics while Deku just, without thinking, just bonds with Gran Torino because, oh shit, if he's still alive, I can still save him. Gran Torino basically feels Deku coming over him, Deku gaining his quirk at the same time. Um, Deku sees that there's no real damage on Gran Torino. He still heals some of the things that are caused by old age, a bit, like just damage to his body that's being made because of his old age. So he's not making him younger, even though Venom actually can at some point do it. Well, no, not can do that, but he can reduce the speed at which your body age. Like, at some point, millions of years in the future, the person with who Venom bonded was just about to die of old age. So, yeah, he can basically make you live for thousands of years, well, millions. So, um, basically, Gran Torino asks him what he's doing, Deku unbonds with him, then just tells him that they thought he was dead or something like that, or injured. Which he basically just said, I dropped my meat. Which both of them kind of just relax a bit. So, Gran Torino basically after that talks to both of them about One for All, which Deku explains that, well, his quirk, which is that he is basically a half liquid, half solid matter that can bond with people, or when he bonds with them, he heals them, increase their strength by tenfold plus a certain amount depending on how much compatible they are. At the same time of doing that, he absorbed part of their DNA, which also absorbs their quirk. When he has not bonded with someone, he only has the quirk at 10%. When he is bonded with anyone, all of his quirk goes back to 100%. He can train the quirks to basically make them better, and then when he bonds with someone, they become 10 times stronger than what he has them at. So Gran Torino asked him if he got his quirk right now, which Deku basically just shows his feet and basically makes the holes that allow Gran Torino to make the air propulsion. So he decides to ask them for the exact same test that he did to Deku in the original. Sorry, I have to pause for a bit. Okay, so he has them for the same test that he asked Deku in the original, and Mina basically looks at Deku and then looks back at Rentarino and asks him, do we bond together while doing this, or do you want us to do it separately? Which he says separately because if not, he's pretty sure he's going to be catched seconds afterward. So he tells Deku to count the time for 3 minutes and that they're going to start the first turn. He says go Mina start charging while Gran Torino goes straight on the offensive. He goes to not let her charge, but she charged way too fast. And suddenly she's basically running after him, almost the same speed, since she can go 20% if she really pushes herself. It's hurt. It hurts her a bit, but it's basically like she's becoming numb more, simply because of she was already training before the 10 months of training. So after a bit, she was able to catch him like only 20 seconds spare, basically, by actually tricking him. So after that, he basically tells Deku to come to start it. He goes to the max of his ability, and the moment he's ready, Deku's basically already in front of him. Like, go in front. He was able to jump out of the way, but he really didn't see that coming. Like, the moment that he said go, Deku was already there. Reason for that is he used One for All, his own speed, and used Ida's quirk all at once, added with Bakugo's explosion, putting his hand behind him, and he basically accelerated so fast that Gran Torino was just able to get out of the way. Oh yeah, as well as Deku using his the quirk of Gran Torino at the same time. So basically, after that, um, he tried to keep away, but Deku was way too fast for him. Like he was just able to do it the first time. The other times, yeah, no, he got caught. So he asked them how good they were using their quirk, since he knows Deku is already pretty good at that. But how well do they have for maneuver? Which Deku shows his wings, and Mina basically just says that if they're together, they just bond and use the wings. Which she then tells them that sometime they're going to be separate, well, most of the time. So, to try and train their quirk, the quirk they already have, which Deku basically tells him that it's pretty easy for him to use multiple tactics, but then looks at Mina and tells her that it's true that she would need to train more. Which she asks him, okay, how do you want me to train more that way? Which he thinks about it and says, well, try to be able to move like Gran Torino. You might not have his quirk, but you have One for All. If you're able to grab two walls and then just jump from one to another, you should be able to get pretty high with that. Mostly in cities. Or be able to accelerate to go faster. Which Gran Torino's basically just thinking, how is this kid talking like that? Well, not talking like that, but knowing how to actually use it, and basically ask him. And Deku basically says that, well, the moment he got the quirk, he just basically tried to move in the best way using it at the max that he can. And pretty much that's the way he found himself able to do it well. To go faster, jump from one wall to wall to go up, or to go in front, well, forward, just do the same thing, or run, or stuff like that. So basically, Gran Torino the side that, okay, yeah, for you it's mostly going to be training the quirk you just got from me, as well as One for All. While for her, it's going to be training her strength and agility, as well as her quirk. Then he looks at Deku and tells him, "Do you think this space is enough for you?" Which Deku basically just laughs and says, "I don't know." So basically, they decide to go. Well, they stay there and train, but yeah, basically, most of the time, Gran Torino trains with um, Mina to basically try and make her learn how to use One for All to jump from one wall to wall, while Deku is basically trying to increase One for All's power. Basically, he's going 100%, 110, 120, and basically seeing how far he can put it before his body actually hurts. It heals automatically anyway. Like, he cannot get permanent damage. That's the only thing that he cannot have unless you kill him. And he sees that even at 1000%, which is basically All Might's level of it, he's not being that damaged. Actually, his body's even buffing up while he's doing that. Because, yeah, he's using the quirk that is, um, well, that All Might has to basically make him buff up when using One for All. If it is really a quirk that allows that, or if it was just something weird, because I'm pretty sure it's not anything else than a quirk, and I said that Deku got that. So basically, he's trying to go further and further and further and further, and at 10,000, he basically start hurting a bit. Well, not hurting a bit, he's hurting a lot, but thanks to his body, he's just regenerating, and now he basically has the same kind of muscle as what All Might has, which Gran Torino and Mina basically arrive in that moment where he basically is like that. And they ask him what the hell happened. And Mina even asks him if he's bonded with All Might in that moment, which he says no and basically powers down and just goes back to his normal form. And just said that was 10,000% of One for All on me. Which Gran Torino thinks and says, "So, you have 10% of it. So you increased it by 1000%. How strong do you think you would have been in that form?" Which he says, if All Might is 100% is what he used normally, I'm 100 times stronger than him just because of the multiplier. And I think the buffness is from just because of the excess energy that's coming off of it and my body's absorbing it. Then Gran Torino asks him if it hurts, and Deku says, yeah, but thanks to the two different regeneration that I have, it seems to be fully healing. Well, it's healing way too fast for it to actually even leave a mark on me. So Gran Torino tells him that that power should not be used that much because even with regeneration, permanent damage might be bad. But yeah, Deku cannot get that, so but none of them knows it. Like Deku knows he can heal, but he doesn't know if he can still get permanent damage. That he never tried it, and I'm pretty sure he won't either. Be right back. Yeah, sorry. Uh, so basically, in Gran Torino tells him to just keep that calm down for now and to just train with um, his own quirk, like Gran Torino's quirk, I mean. Which Deku does after that, for good reasons. So, they basically continue like that. Mina's Basically, um, compared to actually hurting when she was using 20%, now it's just numb. So yeah, she increased her strength basically already, and the capacity with One for All. Mostly thanks to Deku, since, yeah, um, just being together and training basically increased their strength massively over time. Mostly her strength. So, Gran Torino basically had made her go to 25%, where that actually hurts but doesn't seem to damage her body truly. But she doesn't use that a lot. Basically, at this point, she's using it in the same way that Deku does in the anime. So, a flick of the finger to basically send a wind blast of 25% strength. That's a huge amount of strength being pushed. So, yeah. So, then we go to the night of patrol. So, Endeavor and Shoto, while doing the agency, Endeavor wasn't really helping that much. Actually, the other people in the agency were the one helping Shoto, simply because Endeavor was kind of just, for a good amount of time, he was just thinking about what Deku said. Like, multiple days. Well, after the... When the patrol arrived, he did go out, the Nomus were there, and he started being more concentrated on that. So he basically did the exact same thing. Deku and Mina basically, when Nomu arrived on the train, first thing Deku did was basically latch onto the Nomu to stop him. That one. Wait, what was it? I know that there were two Nomus that had looked like they had healing quirks. The other one had strength quirks. Um, some of them had wings and stuff like that. So that one I'm not sure. Probably just a strength quirk and a shock absorption or something like that. So I'm just going to say that it was that. If it had... Or was it the winged Nomu? I have to go check. Okay, it was a Nomu with 4 eyes and a weird tongue capacity that basically allows him to grow it into a weird... Well, into different... a weird shape, basically. So, Deku got that. They are physically strong naturally, actually, that's the thing. So, yeah. Deku basically got that, killed the Nomu before unbonding with him, then told Gran Torino that there's a guy in their class that actually came to this city and is probably after Stain, so they're going to go look for him. Gran Torino basically told him, because he knows how powerful Deku is, that he gives him the total permission to attack Stain, but that he will come with them. So Deku basically told him to grab on, bonded with Mina, and basically with Gran Torino they left to look for Ida. They arrived when Ida was about to be slashed by Stain, so just before he gets killed. And Gran Torino basically dropped down and hit Stain in that moment. Mina unbonded with Deku and went to 20% to just punch away, making a huge wind blast, pushing him away. Deku bonded with Ida first, healing him, also from Stain's quirk. then with the hero healing him as well. Then Mina basically was on her phone texting the entire class their location and that they have Stain with a hero. And then Gran Torino told Deku to get Stain. He approached Stain, running. Stain cut him, but no blood. Stain got a weird feeling, and then Deku tried to bond with him. I have to go for a sec. Be right back. Sorry, I had to sneeze. So, Deku tried to bond with Stain to try and control him, and for the first time, he actually felt the effect as someone not wanting to bond with him that had a better, well, a will pretty strong as well. Deku had a stronger will, so he took control, but he fought against Stain for a while. So now, if Deku drinks the blood of someone, they will be paralyzed. Police arrived. Gran Torino was there and said that he actually allowed them to fight, so they don't have any repercussion, except Ida. Then Ida, from being healed, remembered that Deku can heal. Stain got arrested. Then, just before leaving, he asked Deku why does he fight, and he basically says because a hero needs to save people, even if it's not of their matter. Basically giving a small speech that basically makes Stain think of him as a true hero, as well as Mina, because they basically seem to have the exact same resolve. As well as when Ida asked them why they were here, Izuku basically responded the same way as he did in the anime. Um, so, Ida, after remembering that, yeah, Deku can heal, basically decided to ask him to go heal his brother, which Izuku accepted. Ida was reprimanded, but he just got told that they're going to cover him trying to fight Stain by saying that you were just caught in the fight, which he accepted. Ida's brother was healed. And yes, that means that Deku got two different types of engines. Be right back. Yeah, sorry, I had to pause. So, yeah, he got two engine quirk. Basically, he can choose which one he takes, but they're basically the same, except that Ida's brother are stronger. Deku, when using engines, will probably just put the two of them together to make them stronger. So yeah. So when they come back to school, everyone basically asks Izuku and Mira how it was to fight Stain, which Mina basically says I was only able to give one punch before Deku took control of him, which Deku then responded with, it was weird. He was fighting back. It was the first time that someone was actually fighting the bonding, and I was able to take control, but I don't think someone that has a better will than me, I could control them. I can control people stronger, but that's easier than taking control of someone who can do, well, that has a better will than me. Because, yeah, by this point, Deku's stronger than anyone, thanks to One For All, that he can put that an unlimited amount. Which, when coming back, he also told that to All Might. Which All Might basically got scared because he knows he's going to have to fight him. As well as he's going to have to fight Bakugo. Because in this one, I'm going to leave it normal. Um, so, when they came back, they did the test where they need to get to All Might. Um, that, yeah, Izuku got the fastest. No questions asked. Second, well, I think Mina was in the same group, so yeah, she got second place. So, um, yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to end it here. In the next part, hero versus villain. Hero versus students. So, tomorrow at midnight 20, I will do my first part on Titan Deku. So yeah, hope you stay tuned for that or watch it the next morning because yeah, it's really late or early depending on if you want to take it for Saturday. But yeah, so hope you liked it. Natsu out.